and we don't know what comes out of
Yeah, of course, no worries. Again, like I'm always recording
it.
everything. There's always magic coming
Yeah.
through. Like, yeah.
But this is like it's I have noticed these kinds of things for myself also, that when there is something coming up like an allergy or a sensitivity, it's it's like when it becomes conscious what it's about, and then if I set a boundary or do some work, like then it goes away. So it's not like it's here to stay, or I
Yeah,
need to make changes. I need to identify what my body or my soul is trying to tell me.
yeah, for sure. I mean, because again, like I'm very connected to my body,
Mhm.
and like as soon as I feel
Yeah.
something, my body shows me that. It's like a few, like a couple of years ago, I've experienced like feeling emotions and creating
Mhm.
pain.
Mhm.
I was very conscious of this, like, oh my God, I'm
Mhm.
creating this right now and I cannot stop. But then I'm like, wait a minute, you're creating it, so you can uncreate
Mhm.
it. And so
Mhm.
I healed it right away. And but yeah, like as soon as
But
I
this not breathing thing, this the last time it happened, when was it? Like, was it recent
yeah,
or?
well, I was gonna say too that like as soon as I got to the apartment when I moved to Montreal,
Uh-huh.
like came back, and I got this apartment because, as I mentioned, I was waiting for my permanent
Yeah.
residency card, so I was looking for something temporary.
Mhm.
So like it wasn't really easy to find anything, and so my friend
Mhm.
was like, "Well, I have an apartment that I'm renting out on Airbnb sometimes.
Mhm.
You can stay there, like you can rent it." And I'm like, "Okay." And when I got there, I was like, "Well, I cannot breathe," and uh,
Mhm.
and and yeah, so I couldn't sleep. And for me, right away, it's like, "Well, you cannot breathe." That's
Mhm.
really interesting. Oh, okay. Actually, I'm gonna back up a little bit. In 2021, in January, I lost my sense of smell. I thought it was
Mhm.
COVID. I did tests, like it was nothing. But I mean, I was like, maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. Like, I don't worry about
Mhm.
it. But I lost the sense of smell,
Mhm.
and for like a couple of days, and I'm like, these 2 days, I felt the most relaxed in my life. It was it was the biggest blessing for me. I was like, oh my God, I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much information my nose is gathering and analyzing all of the time, and how I'm
Mhm.
not actually breathing
Mhm.
for majority of my life. Because doing breath work, it's one thing, but
Mhm.
how my nose is perceiving
Yeah.
things, like stopping it, it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's toxic or something. That's when
Mhm.
I realized when I completely
Mhm.
lost it. And I'm like, oh, I'm breathing. My body's so relaxed. I'm like, what is
Mhm.
happening? Oh, it's because I cannot smell anything. And that was like, wow, what a
Mhm.
gift. And so I think since then it kind of got even more sensitive. But for me, breathing,
Mhm.
it's like living, like living
Mhm.
life. Like
Mhm.
how can you breathe in the life fully?
Mhm.
And as soon as I started feeling like, oh, I cannot breathe, it's like, there's almost like a message of living, not
Mhm.
living, or
Mhm.
like something, a part of me that is
Mhm.
like suffocating me.
Yeah. Something blocking a life force in a way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's like no matter where I go now, it's like,
Mhm. Mhm.
huh, you know. Sorry, it's just as soon as I start talking, start receiving
Yeah, I'm
insights and information.
that's the point.
I think you understand me.
Yeah.
You know, well, actually, after our last talk,
Mhm.
you know, uh, when I realized that that I feel that I don't belong,
Mhm.
it's this topic actually opened up for me more and more. And I
Mhm.
realized how my whole life I felt the same way. First
Mhm.
like not belonging in this planet, in this country, like in any country,
Mhm.
with any people, like all of those. And kind of like on a mental level, I thought I looked at it and I thought it like
Mhm.
uh, I changed it. But
Mhm.
with the example, like last time we spoke, there was a different example and different perception of it. And I'm like,
Mhm,
whoa, that's like
mhm,
much bigger than I thought
mhm,
before, you know? And yeah, and so I have this friend, oh, like the friend I was talking
mhm,
about, like who is a crypto millionaire,
mhm,
and he has all of those apartments.
mhm,
And I usually stayed at his apartment, and because the building was allowing short-term stays, but now it doesn't, so
mhm,
I'm not there. And when I'm in his apartments and they're like new, they're spacious, they're like
mhm,
luxurious apartments, I'm like breathing so freely. My
mhm,
body is relaxing so much. I'm like, oh my God, this is a place for
mhm,
me, you know? And but then all of the other apartments, they're kind of like smaller, maybe like older.
mhm,
And now when I was gonna say something, it's like, wow, um, like my force, I feel my life force even in a certain setting when I'm almost like,
mhm,
this is mine,
mhm,
this is for me.
mhm,
But I'm like, nah, it's not
mhm,
like I don't belong consciously, but even
mhm.
like
Yeah.
I can stay in like in a worse place,
Mhm,
you know, like it's fine.
yeah.
As soon as I get in those places, I'm like,
Mm. So you like unconsciously you are suffocating yourself.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Mm. But you see where I am. Like it's like
I know.
I get it. I get it because for me it's like if I don't feel space, if I don't feel like I can breathe freely, I can like just like my energy can occupy space without bothering someone or whatever. Like that
Exactly.
is a big thing for me. So I like I'm very conscious of that and
Mm,
definitely like it's been a theme in my life also of like taking up space or not feeling like I can take up space or like other people suffocating me or like it's a big theme. Like even recently, like big shifts were happening where I was realizing like these micro shifts that wow, like I'm just feeling more space, more space, more space. So and now like we are just we have started the process of building a new house, Ruta and me. And
mm,
like the whole idea there is like spaciousness and to feel like yeah there's abundance, there's space, and we can breathe. We
yeah.
have our together space, but we also have our individual spaces and all of that.
Yeah, I mean now like talking even more about this, yeah, because you know, like even now when I went away, like I was staying with a friend, like here too, it's like it's not
Hmm.
my space. And it
Hmm.
definitely feels like suffocating because it's almost
Hmm.
like I cannot use my own rules, you know.
Hmm.
Like, this is my space, this is spacious, you
Hmm.
know, and yeah, it's like I'm not letting myself yeah, like I'm suffocating myself. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know, it's funny, funny that it's like I know why it's happening.
Hmm.
Because when I was telling you that, you know, it's like I'm not birthing something that's
Uh-huh.
like supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know, and like me being me showing yourself myself, you know, and
Hmm.
doing all of that and like making money and just doing what I
Hmm.
want to do, you know? And I'm like, I'm stifling myself. And
Hmm.
it's like all of the spaces basically it's like, okay, we're gonna make you stop breathing.
Hmm.
So you move your ass. It's like we're actually gonna
Hmm.
take the air out of you so you
Hmm.
cannot breathe. So you would start doing something.
Do you know how your birth was? Your actual birth?
My actually it was good. I think I was in
There was no trauma or anything.
No, I also did like a past life regression where
Uh-huh.
I lived through my birth as well.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there a lot happened before. It's like
Uh-huh.
connected with the council and all of that. But coming out, it was actually really nice. You know, like I could feel how I was inside my mom and like feel all of the energies. And then coming out, it was just cold. You know, when I came out
Uh-huh.
in February, bright and
Hmm.
cold. But there was nothing, you know, like nothing with my throat or my
Hmm.
breathing or anything like that. Like there was no really problem with
So
it.
where is the suffocation coming from? Like, okay, you are doing it yourself at one level, but somewhere you learned to do that, somewhere that was programmed into you.
Well, it's
Like, don't think about it. Allow. Like, Just if you ask that question, what comes?
I mean, childhood, really.
Mhm.
Like that's but let me see. Let me connect to it. Because like that's why I don't want my mind to
Yeah, yeah,
like I
that's
don't
what
want
I'm
my
saying.
body to- can you ask a question again? It's like I'm suffocating right now.
Where is the suffocation coming from?
Um,
Where did you learn to suffocate yourself, or who told you that you cannot take space?
oh, you know what? Oh, I drowned.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. It was so funny, but it wasn't even tragic or anything. I was just little, but it's just right now because when I asked it, like when I'm suffocating and I saw that vision right away,
Mhm.
it was me in water and it was like the lake and I was just going down and I could see for some reason through the water. It's like
Mhm.
I'm inside the water and I'm seeing people sitting. Like I don't know even if physics would work this way, but like
Mhm.
I can feel it through the water. It's like
Yeah.
sitting and then they're like getting up like to
Mhm.
hit me or something.
But why do you say it's not tragic or something?
Well, because I was very peaceful. Like
Uh-huh.
when I remember my emotions and feelings, I'm like nothing strange happening. That
Uh-huh.
was the feeling. It's like, huh, nothing
Mhm.
strange happening, but like why are people starting to run,
Mhm.
you know? But I'm like, kind of like going down
Mhm.
and just seeing that. But yeah, I don't
But
know.
but if you go deeper than that, like let's go even deeper and see where you learn to not take space or to suffocate yourself or to limit
Well,
yourself.
well, to not take space for sure, that's childhood. That's my
Uh-huh.
mom and my brother and
Mm.
just being quiet. Well, being quiet. My whole voice, it was
Yeah.
my childhood thing. That's my biggest trauma,
Uh-huh.
my voice. And like I was always shut up, like shut up. Like I couldn't say anything. I was very quiet. Like I would always lose
Mhm.
my voice and all of that, you know. It's like I couldn't
Mhm.
couldn't really take space at home, right? It's
Mhm.
like and yeah, and my
But
mom
you
was
seem to be very aware of that.
yeah, because I mean I've
So,
done so much for it
uh-huh.
already, you know. That's why now it's
So,
like a new level.
yeah, so okay, so that's interesting. So you've done a lot on it, but looks like you've still not birthed your voice. Like it's still trapped, it's still closed in a way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like, see, the thing is, I guess for me right now, what I'm questioning more, because my voice definitely improved. It's like I don't lose
Uh-huh.
my voice anymore. Like, yeah, like right now it got scratchy again and
Yeah,
and
but that's the thing, is that there is something right now.
for sure, for sure. I mean, it's just because when I start talking about something like this, like energy
Mhm.
comes in and like it shows.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, there's something, right?
But energy comes, but it gets blocked here. It could get blocked anywhere. It gets blocked here.
Mhm.
The thing is, what happens if you do take up space? What happens if you do use your voice?
I'm gonna be punished.
Uh-huh. But have you created a new program for it? That's the thing. It's like this is the old program. Do you have a replacement for that? Have you practiced a replacement for it? That if I use my voice, something good happens. Have you ever said that to yourself?
I guess
Like,
no.
because like you said, you did a lot of work, but that is also like the next level of the work is like, what is the good thing that happens if you use your voice? Because this is like, because I've worked a lot as a therapist and then I've done coaching, and what I keep realizing is like people just keep working on healing and they don't go into the activation part. Like it's and that can go on forever. The healing can go on forever.
Yeah.
But if there isn't something to move toward, so what is the new program you want to create for yourself? If you use your voice, what happens?
Uh, I mean, I'm also laughing because I'm like seeing all of the flashbacks to everything, like what it
Mhm.
means and why. And
But
um,
can you connect with an instance when you used your voice and something great happened?
mhm. Can I just speak something through first?
Yeah,
And
sure.
then get to that. Um, there's definitely a place like when I feel safe,
Uh-huh.
the beauty happens, like when I,
Uh-huh.
when I sing, when I speak, and people are
Uh-huh.
like, whoa, and I want to speak and sing even more and more and more.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it's that element of safety, because
Uh-huh.
like, when I speak, I'm heard, and when I'm heard, people kind of like amazed and like fascinated and also activated too. And
Uh-huh.
it's almost like this fear of being fully seen, you know, seen
What
and
is the fear?
yeah, again, it's like it's the punishment that is coming through.
So
And
this is the thing, it's safety, but this is why I'm saying go deeper, because my feeling is that this is coming from a much higher level or a past life or something, that you had a very powerful voice
mhm,
in some other dimension or some other life,
yeah,
and that had big consequences, and there was big punishment there.
yeah, I mean, like I've lived through some past lives, like when I was a witch and I
Uh-huh.
was killed and all of
Uh-huh.
those things too.
But I think it's even bigger than that. It's not just witch or something, it's something much bigger.
You know, do you know what Elohim is?
No.
Elohim? It's like a kind of God
Uh-huh.
frequency, you know,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, because when you said go higher, like go deeper,
Uh-huh.
like that would like oh Elohim. It's like I can speak reality into life,
Uh-huh.
and create reality into life when I speak. And it's almost like the fear of creating something. It's like oops, whoop, I created it.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe I should stop talking.
Yeah, so you created something bad or something that was destructive,
Mm-hmm.
or you created something that someone did not like.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the power of a god, is that you create both sides of reality, not just one side. And to take that power as a god, you have to embrace duality. You can't create in
Yeah,
a
for sure.
polarity.
I mean, yeah, like I understand all of those things. It's
Mhm.
just more of a like I'm
But I'm
feeling
saying I'm
that.
saying at a deeper level. It's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I'm not talking to you mentally. I'm talking to you at a much deeper level. It's like what is blocking you is like there are consequences. And until you like say I'm okay with consequences and I will deal with consequences, this will keep happening. You will keep canceling yourself.
I agree.
But what causes that is guilt. Is that
Yeah. I mean,
and
that's my core wound too.
uh-huh,
It is the guilt, and I mean, it's also been present in my life, because whenever I say truth and people don't like it,
mhm.
it's like they're basically mad at me. I'm like,
But how, so this is the thing, it comes down to safety, like you said. So how can you create a state where you have safety all the time? Where your safety is not conditional upon the environment or someone outside you. It's like the safety is inside you.
yeah, it's safety that I'm not gonna be, almost like punishing myself, for that. It's like not.
Or even others punishing you. Like how can you create protection from that?
Mm.
See, at your God level, you know that, but you fell from that. You disconnected from that, and what disconnected you was guilt. It's not the God that feels guilt; it's the human. Like this is the union, the divine union is the God and the human together. So what are you guilty for at the highest level? What did you do? If you have to just say it out loud.
Like killed.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's like right away, like as soon as you said it, it's like the answer was I killed. It's almost like
Mhm.
not a god of death, no, but like I killed. That's
Mhm.
like, it just keeps repeating, it's like it didn't show me exactly what, but like I
Mm.
was killing, you know.
If you give yourself permission to see what you were doing, allow, it's okay. Whatever you did, you did. Right now, we are going into acceptance. I did. Okay. Allow.
It's just it keeps showing me the same visual, but I cannot see it clearly.
Mhm.
It's like those movies of Thor,
Mhm.
Ragnarok, or something.
Mhm.
Basically showed me something similar of like that, either the
Yeah.
woman thing, like something like negative, like she was, because it shows me like it's not horns, it's like some kind of headpiece, like with
Uh-huh.
like a lot of sticky things, you know,
Uh-huh.
and like yeah, and basically like just distraction and like killing, and
Yeah. I'm seeing the same.
mhm, yeah.
And so what? You have to understand that at those levels,
But see, like
it's
I'm not even judging it as bad.
Mhm.
It's like I'm not judging it as bad. It's like yeah,
Mhm.
like everything is existing and like there's no
Mhm.
good or bad.
Mhm.
But let me see.
But you are afraid to do it at this level. You're
Mm,
afraid to hurt. At some level, you became afraid of hurting people.
for sure, for sure.
So there was a punishment to being that destructive. What
Mm.
was the punishment? Like now, if you ask that question, what was the consequence of entering that state of destruction?
Well, it was my destruction, like my death.
Ah,
It's like I
mm,
feel it in my heart right now. It's almost like my heart was just like impaled, like I
mm.
feel a lot of like heaviness in my heart right now. It's like
Okay. So
I was
can you go further back and see what caused you to go into that state of destruction?
well, pain.
Was it pain or was it something?
It's like I could see two things. Like one is like a human, almost like a human aspect, and one like a energy aspect, like a God aspect.
Uh-huh.
You know, like that aspect was to experience that, like that energy in a way. It's like,
Mm.
mm, it's like, well, somebody needs to be a bad guy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You needed to play that role.
Yeah.
But
I
there's a
didn't
reason. There's
realize
a
it.
reason. Why did you need to play that? Like, what was the story? What was the archetypal story going on at that time? Like,
It's like to experience the power and strength of the
uh-huh,
all of those like shadow energies,
uh-huh,
almost like the destruction, killing, like feeling that power. Basically it's
uh-huh,
like, oh, I know my light, like I know all of the facets of my light, and I want to know this too, like all of the
uh-huh,
facets of that. And so it's like it's not bad or good. It's more of like to feel full power of that too,
uh-huh,
to be able to maybe bring it into balance, or not a balance, but like, well, bring it into oneness, union, or something,
uh-huh. Hmm. So my feeling is that what happened is that when you went into that state, you did not know the boundaries. You lost the boundary of the masculine,
Mhm,
of and it just became complete destruction. So
mhm,
it was like unbounded power. And that's the feminine. It's like there are no boundaries. And
mhm,
I feel like that's the work that needs to be done is integrating the masculine into that. It's like I can be very powerful, but I have to always remember the boundary.
mhm,
Like, this is what is coming through for me is that the reason you needed to be stopped, the reason the punishment needed to come was that you did not have the boundary. So my guess is that a masculine god came in to put
mhm,
a stop to that.
mhm,
It's like this is kind of the story I'm seeing.
mhm,
And that is what you need to integrate into yourself. So if you feel this heaviness in your heart that you're feeling, just go deeper in that and see if there is some way to alchemize that into a strong boundary where
mhm.
you can regulate both sides.
Yeah, like I already feel the lightness in my heart.
Mhm,
And then, but yeah, it's like a rage, that
mhm.
feminine rage. Like I'm just killing like a collie in a way
Yeah,
from between.
yeah.
Mm.
This is exactly like that. That needs balance,
Mhm,
and that needs a very strong masculine to balance that. Like if that is the level of the rage, is Kali, like it needs Shiva to be like
mhm. Yeah,
stop,
yeah.
and to find different ways to express that and channel. So the thing is that that energy can be expressed in many ways, and this is the work, the lesson at this level is like when the rage comes, first is like not to repress it, to allow it, but not to channel it into destruction,
Mhm,
but into creativity, into doing something different. So my feeling is like if you bring all of this to your consciousness, like that is what will unblock. Like what is blocking you is all of this is unconscious. That you are holding back your power because at some level you're afraid that if I embrace it, it will become uncontrolled and destructive.
mhm.
So right now, what is the key insight that you can integrate? Like as if you have to put it into one sentence, like what will be the new phase of your life? What will be the new lesson that this is how you will define yourself going forward?
Well, that it's safe to express myself fully or something.
No. That's not powerful. That's coming from a place of weakness. See the difference. It's like when you say that, basically you are already imagining a threat. You're already imagining that there is something bad that you need to protect yourself from, that you need to be safe from. So what is the new level of reality where safety is not even needed? It's a level of power where you are complete.
Well,
So if you have to channel both sides, the masculine and the feminine together, what does it look like?
oh, it's like a divine union,
Mhm,
like a king and queen, it's like take up space. It's like when I see
mhm,
it's like it's that kind of like the royalty. It's like I'm taking
mhm,
my space that
mhm,
belongs to me. Or like,
mhm.
yeah, interesting.
Yes,
It's like
yes,
I'm
say
taking
that,
the
say
space
that.
that I belong to, or that
No,
belongs
no,
to
no.
me, that belongs
Yes,
to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I take up space that belongs to me, and I express myself
yeah.
fully. Yeah.
So the other way you can frame this, I own my space.
Okay.
I own my space and I own my voice. Like
I own
that
my space and I own my voice.
that
Mm.
is the level where safety is not needed. It is my space. And
Yeah.
that's it. End of story.
Right,
But something happened when you said that, and you almost wanted to take it back.
right.
When you first time you said it, it was like you said it and you're like, oh, like what did I say just now?
No, it's just when it's because I realized that like I was looking at everything or like up until now, it's like, oh, where I belong. It's like, oh, I need
Mhm,
to belong
mm,
somewhere. And now the
mhm,
phrase was different. It's like I take up
mhm.
space that belongs to me. It's like
Perfect.
I'm not belonging myself to a
Mhm,
space. I take space that belongs to me. It's like there's a
mhm,
space that belongs to me, and
mhm,
it's almost like I'm not taking it. I'm like
mhm.
I'm not there. I'm like I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
you distribute it to everyone. Like you take my
Yeah,
space, you take my space.
yeah.
And then you don't have your space and you have to go in someone else's space. So
Mhm, mhm,
yeah, like that's the whole reason. Like this is the people pleaser aspect of like not wanting to take up space and
mhm,
wanting to be there in someone else's space. Like,
mhm,
oh, what will make you comfortable instead of what will make me comfortable?
mhm,
But yeah, that is the queen. That's the goddess. It's like this is mine. This is my space. I created this. I own this.
mhm.
How does that feel now? Like when you enter in that energy, just settle in that, center yourself.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, even my body feels different. It's like, oh, my back got
I
straighter.
saw your posture change completely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, my hand, I'm like, where is my space? Where's my queendom?
Mhm,
It's like, yeah. Hmm. And yeah, it felt, I still feel like, well, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It just feels like it's coming back. It's like
mhm,
I'm sitting and I'm feeling like it's like the parts of me
mhm,
are coming back. It's like the energy is coming back. That it's almost
mhm,
like maybe because I was scared of it. It's like, oh, you
mhm,
take it, you take it, you take it. It's like because
mhm,
I cannot fully, because it's like it's dangerous for me to fully
mhm,
have it.
mhm,
And now it's like there's this lightness in my body.
mhm,
It's like, and I can feel how like energy is returning, and it's like being embodied back into
mhm,
back into my body.
mhm. Can
It's
you
like,
hear your voice? How much it has changed?
yeah, and the voice too, because the scratching is gone, and it's like I could hear too, yeah, like that
Mhm.
something that came through.
But I'll tell you something that I
Yeah.
noticed every time on the group calls or whatever. Like whenever you speak, it's very soft.
Hmm.
And I already reflected that to you last time. But just now, what I realized is that what is encoded into your voice constantly, your old voice, is apology. There's a frequency of apology in your voice. It's like, oh, I'm sorry for taking up space. I'm sorry for saying something. It's just there.
Yeah.
And that's what disappeared just now. It's like that's what made me realize like what's not there right now is that you're not being apologetic. And that's the whole thing of the punishment, the permission is like, oh, I'm sorry, I did something wrong.
Right.
And that energy just cleared out in when you started talking just now, when your posture changed, like suddenly there was no apology.
Right.
So this is what you have to catch is if you do fall back, it's like, I don't need to apologize. This is mine.
It's funny because I'm also, in Canada, and Canada is like a country of apologizers. Everyone says sorry. And I feel like when I got here, it was almost like, I'm like, oh, I'm in the country where everyone says sorry always, already. And like, okay, I fit in.
But maybe this is what was holding your residency back.
Yeah, exactly.
That probably like now that you're clearing this energy, the residents come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what was tying you to stay here was that energy of being apologetic.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't actually feel Canada is my home because it's like it's small for me. Like it's like, yeah. Yeah.
So there was something else that is coming up earlier. The whole like yeah, also like always being in someone else's house. Like when you were initially talking about your living situation, like I'm in someone else's place.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, sorry, I'm interrupting you, but
No.
I'm sorry. Right. It's like this politeness,
But
see,
that frequency is what is canceling people. I have to be polite. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. It
right,
doesn't matter. Like I don't care. Like the right people don't care if you interrupt them. They're not offended just because you
right.
did something improper.
It's true.
You connect to the people who are at that level that they don't get offended by silly things.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly, because it is a frequency of like, oh, if I say that, I almost imply that you're going to be offended by me interrupting you. And it's like, I usually don't get offended, so like, why would you? And so it's just me. It's like, oh, well, I don't get offended by others, but others do. Okay, yeah, that's a good perspective for sure. And when I was saying this, Queen, it's like, okay, what belongs to me? Like I take up what belongs to me. And you said something like we were saying something, and that's when I realized too. It's like again, it's in the wording. It's like, oh, taking someone's space, right? Like not taking my space, but taking someone's space. And why I felt better in those apartments of my friend, because it's not his space, like he's renting out all of those spaces, but like nobody lived there yet. It's like it's totally my place. It's like I would need to pay, it's like just like a regular rent. And like in those buildings, and it's like, yeah, like it's no one's space. It's newly renovated, a space to take, basically kind of like take ownership of, Whew. Oh wait. Like yeah, like the things are moving because I love this energy. Because I know this your frequency,
Yeah, but just enjoy it. If you want to talk, don't talk, whatever. Like just
Yeah.
feel. Like right now, I'll just give you space. I won't say anything.
Yeah,
Just feel.
thank you. Thank
Express.
you. Thank you so much. Because yeah, like I am saying this is like, oh, I want to take ownership of this space. It's like it's my place, like it's my space. It feels so good to even say that, it's like,
Mhm,
oh, this is newly renovated space and I can make it my own. Like I can actually take a space there, decorate it the way I want, like nobody lived there yet. And it's like, okay, I am reigning over this over this
mhm,
space, uh, wow, that feels so good. Like to say
mhm,
all of those things, and that's why, it's always been that feeling because everything, like something that I buy, something that I like since childhood, my mom was like,
mhm,
you always pick the most expensive things without even knowing
mhm,
that. It's because of like the taste, it's not that
mhm,
I'm trying to. It's like I
mhm,
just really like really good things,
mhm, mhm,
yeah, I'm not apologizing. Like I love good things, like I
mhm.
love good quality things, and yeah, and wow, yeah. Ah,
But this is what feels like what's coming out now is like your whole life you've just been programmed to hold yourself back,
yeah,
hold yourself inside, like a
for sure.
lot of repression. And
Hmm.
it's so good to hear your voice clean. Like your voice is clean now. That's the frequency. It's pure.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I enjoy it. I love hearing your clean voice. Like take that feedback, receive that because it's a pleasure.
Mm.
It's actually a pleasure because when you have the other voice, it's like it almost feels like it's a burden to make you speak.
Right.
And it feels like, oh, like there is this heaviness in.
Mm.
So also like you have to realize that you think you're making others feel better by being soft and holding back, but actually it's the opposite.
True.
For the right people, is the opposite because the right people want to hear you and they're like, why? Why are you not giving yourself to us? Like, why are you holding yourself back?
And it's like it's definitely uh, not what's the word, not by accident when
Mhm,
the people that I'm working with, it's like it's the ones that really need to speak up, like really need
mhm,
to come out of their own shell, and
mhm,
they feel that courage and
mhm,
strength in me, and it's like, yeah, like, okay, let's speak,
mhm,
let's show you strength.
mhm.
And
So you can do it when you want, you can do it for some people, but
yeah,
now it's to just all the time have that energy.
for sure, for sure.
This is the new program. Like this is very interesting because I think even Ruta shared it or we shared it like when we were talking about that whole mansion experience
Mm-hmm.
that one of the 3D programs was I'm not supposed to be here, I don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And my program, like my energy, even in that space, I was strolling through the garden that it's my garden. Like that was my energy. Like, I am supposed to be here. I belong here. So the
Mm-hmm.
program is wherever I am, I belong.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new program is
Right.
I am where I belong. Always. If I am here, I am supposed to be here. I am meant to be here and I belong
Mm. Yeah, it's also interesting. And maybe if you've noticed, my keyword is interesting. I
here.
like everything. But uh yeah, what you were just saying, like part of it is something uh when I guess whenever or like wherever I am, I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be here for some reason, right?
Mhm,
But what you just said, there was like a little bit of a shift of like, no matter where I am, even when I am in all of the luxurious spaces, it's like I'm supposed to be here. And
mhm,
not just like, oh, there's a reason why I'm supposed to be here, but I Yeah, it's like it's harder to explain because it's a frequency. It's different. It's a frequency.
Because
You're
no,
saying.
because no, because you're not using the right word, and there is something prohibiting you from using the right word. I belong here. It's not I'm supposed to be. I belong here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the frequency. I'm supposed to be here means like there's some reason or something that's outside of you. That is like, oh, I'm supposed to serve a
Um,
purpose here.
I
But
I realized why I was using the word because
uh-huh.
it was the responsibility of like I belong here. So in a good space, yeah, of course I belong here. But
Mhm,
also if I'm like here, I belong here too. For
mhm,
some reason, it's almost like not wanting to almost like take responsibility for the negative, like so-called negative. It's like,
mhm.
well, wherever you are, you belong here because of whatever reason.
Yeah, I think there is something even deeper which
Mhm.
comes back to the whole apology thing, is that um it's like if I am if I am here in a place where it looks like I don't belong, I must serve a purpose. I can't just be here for no reason. I
For
can't
sure.
just be here because I belong. If I am in a space which belongs to someone else, it should be for a good reason. I have to justify it. Like, is that
Right,
frequency?
right.
And no, it's like I really belong here and I don't even need to justify it. Like that was my energy with like, talking to that guy is like, I'm not justifying, I'm not explaining, I'm not apologizing. I'm
Mhm.
celebrating the space with him. Like, wow, like what a beautiful space this is.
Right. What would you say or what would you feel about the place that is not like beautiful and luxurious, but like something more about
It
like
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like if I
Mhm,
am there, I belong.
mhm,
And the belonging, it doesn't mean I have to live there or stay there. What belongs to me is my energy field. It's not the physical space. It's
mhm,
not the energetic space. It's my field of energy belongs there. And
mhm.
I own that energetic space. So if I am in hell, okay, if I am in hell,
Yeah,
I belong in my energy field.
yeah.
And my energy field is passing through hell. And it's okay.
I see what you mean.
Belonging is not attachment. It's not like
Mhm,
um it's like I belong there in that space and that moment.
mhm, mhm,
Not for not I don't have to stay there forever.
mhm, mhm.
Does that make sense? Like at some level, does it make sense?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I guess that's what I was curious about, and what I was mentioning as like responsibility, well, using that
Mm-hmm.
word for that. It's like if you're here, you belong here. It's like
Mm-hmm.
almost like there is a resonance in your field. That's why
Mm-hmm.
you belong here. It's not negative or it's like
Mm-hmm.
nothing. It's just you belong here for whatever. I guess see, like it's like I wanna use the reason, you know,
Exactly.
like to
That's what
describe that. Yeah.
I'm trying to detach you from is like
Yeah.
it's unconditional. It's
Yeah.
unconditional. I just belong here.
Mhm,
End of story.
mhm.
And that you caught it yourself just now. It's like that's exactly what I'm pointing out.
Yeah, yeah, and I caught myself before too, but now
Mm-hmm.
explaining is like, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I guess my mind wants reason or like
Mm-hmm.
explanation,
Mm-hmm.
or like understanding of like how the frequency would work, like in terms of frequency, how would that apply or work,
Mm-hmm.
like okay, well, is there like any connection, to
Mm-hmm.
me being here, basically reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's also like this is just my field, it's irrelevant to what's happening
Mm-hmm.
outside,
Mm-hmm.
I just belong here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but my mind, the one that always answers questions, it's like I need to understand why. I need to
Mm-hmm.
be able to
Mm-hmm.
explain why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly. Like this is the whole point. Is like just today I launched my new website, so I will share it with you. And basically, like my my new phase, my new level is like now I'm teaching people how to transcend the mind and live in the soul, in the spirit.
Mm,
And like to let go of these programs of the mind that needs to justify and answer and explain everything. Like there
mm,
is a level that you can live beyond that. And
mm.
when that mind is trying to get that, that is exactly the point of to say, no, I'm not even going to try to answer this question. I'm just going to stop it.
You know, what I felt, I guess, and I'm just observing like the energy and all of that. It's like, okay, I belong here, like no whys, right? And what I felt after that, it's like, it's almost like I don't have clarity for the next step, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If I understand why or like have an answer why, it's like I see where to move forward. It's almost like I
Mm-hmm.
see the certain point of
Mm-hmm.
destination, you know? And now it's like, well, you just need to like you just belong here, right? Like in
Mm-hmm.
this example, like no reason why, no
The
whatever.
shift is
Mm-hmm.
that when you have your space and you anchor yourself in the universe in this space,
Right.
the universe knows where to send you things. It's like your mailing address.
Yeah.
But if you're always moving and if
Mm-hmm.
you don't know where you belong, the universe is like lost. Where
Yeah.
do I send things when I want to send something to Anna? I don't know.
Mm.
So why am I saying all of this is because you're saying moving forward. You don't need to move at all. Just be here. Like just be here. Learn to just be here. Because that's the mind again. What will I do next? What's the next step? No, there's nothing. Like, just be here.
I mean, that's I know that state of being here,
Mhm,
and so
mhm.
it's not like like a concept that I
Yeah.
can comprehend. Like I know that state. It's more of a almost like a reminder. That
Yeah, that's exactly my like I'm not it's not about teaching you something new, it's just reminding you that that is what the mind is trying right now. It's like, oh, I belong here now what? Continue belonging here. End of story.
yeah.
Like now build your queendom here. Like this is your space now, build your queendom. So now it's not about moving in space, now it's moving in time. Like, okay, now let me start building this space. But like the mind is like, where do I go next? Thinking in time and space. But now I found my space. Now let me build in time. So now I'm building my energy field here. I'm creating here, and things are happening here. So this is exactly like, when I'm building this retreat center here, that's the intention. The focus is like, this is I found the space. Now everything is building, and I will bring people here. Things will happen here. Instead of me having to go to places to make things will happen here. So like the way I frame it is that we are creating a gravity field now. So you are creating a gravity field inside yourself where you are attracting.
Mm.
So you become the star, the goddess, where the universe revolves around you instead of you running around everywhere.
Right. Mhm. Yeah, because I see, well, basically, like I see the quantum field right now,
Mm-hmm,
the particles. So it's like there's no physicality of
mm-hmm,
sort of the place or the country or anything like
mm-hmm,
that. And yeah, and I can see the how frequency works there.
mm-hmm,
Basically, being that vortex, being that
mm-hmm,
just planting myself in the field in a way.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, it's like it's more of a less physical, but more time energy kind of a thing.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the like in the higher dimensional space, the way I will frame it, like okay, like there is the quantum field, but if you see the higher dimensional space of like the cosmos, so you have like the universe, you have within that you have galaxies, and you have the
Mhm.
solar system, the sun, the planets, like they are all reflective. of this energy. It's like the more you build your own center of gravity, the more things are revolving around you, and the less things you are revolving around.
Mm.
Like if you are just a tiny particle, you will keep spinning all across the universe. But
Mm.
like the sun does move, but it also has things moving around it. And then the universe is more static in that sense. Or like, the galaxies are more static. They're also moving, but like it's created that, like, yeah, this is where Andromeda is, for example. So like to translate that to a personal level is like to keep building that field of energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of like taking it all in,
Mhm.
feeling
Yeah, yeah. You
all of
don't need to say that, I know.
that. Getting there. Getting there. Mm.
Yeah, several times I noticed you explain what you're doing, like, and again, like see the person you're with. Some people you don't need all of that. But yeah, you can be in silence sometimes.
Thank you, too.
Hmm. So I'm curious, what else came up for you that day? Because you said you started seeing things
Yeah, can you ask your question again? Like the way you asked me?
the other day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Huh, if I remember. Like, yeah, what do you see about me?
Mhm. You know, one second.
Or what do you receive, or what do you perceive when you see me?
So when I was seeing, um, and again, like there were emotions that not emotions that well, that's part of like not belonging got
Mhm,
mixed in. Mm, uh, when I was feeling that energy of like the scientist inside
mhm,
inside that
mhm,
space, or like an inventor or something,
mhm,
um, as I mentioned, that I felt like a bit of an Arcturian energy,
mhm,
but also this whole week I was like getting a grays. It's like gray, yeah, like
aha,
the grays as a
mhm,
species, you know. And I'm
mhm,
like, why are they there? Like why
mhm,
why do they want to? Because I usually don't even speak about grays,
mhm,
but
mhm.
it was always there. And when I was standing next to the protection field, and when I'm opening it, mm, um, like I guess I'm trying to filter. Sorry. uh, I saw um, yeah, because there were a few different visions, and there was this vision of almost like of the source, of the source
Mhm,
of I guess I would explain it in a like a meditator, and like a lot of light coming out.
mhm,
It was just a lot of light around you, and it was almost like this energy of like a God source,
mhm,
like a point of creation in a way.
mhm.
And
I'm going to share something with you. Well, you keep talking.
okay, yeah, yeah, and so that's why like when I almost like opened those doors, right? Well, like not the
Mhm,
doors, but like I removed that thing, and I was standing right next to it, and it's like, oh, maybe I don't belong here,
mhm,
like kind of like stepping over. to that
Mhm.
field, it was that feeling of like a zero, what is it? How would I call that? Like a 0 point of
Mhm.
creation, something like that.
Mhm.
And because like at first it's almost like I could see you as a human shape, but it was again,
Mhm.
it was more of a like a metaphor or something. But it was just like a lot. Oh, you have to. Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, like I saw a lot of light coming out. Wow. What was
Well,
it?
I can keep it on.
Yeah, can you
What?
keep it for a second? Because that's what I was seeing.
Mhm.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, and it's like, see, the like even the behind the background,
Mhm.
it's almost like this not a code, like I don't know how to explain it.
Mhm.
Like the it's like not the matrix, but like where the code, like the zero,
Mhm.
like where everything is
Mhm.
starting to
Mhm.
kind of like be created in a way, you know?
Mhm.
Nice. Nice. Well, I have the story of what this is.
Well, this was my experience on ayahuasca when I fully like this was right in the beginning. So I think this was like so my second experience with ayahuasca was my most powerful experience with where basically first it started with me having visions of living here. So I found my purpose. I knew like this is my calling, this is where I'm meant to be. And already like I decided I'm going to come and live here. There was no doubt, nothing, like full conviction.
Mhm.
And then like it continued with me going to 5 different levels of reality where I was basically going to different alien planets and becoming an alien on that planet. Like I had my own body there and I was interacting with the being.
Mhm.
And the highest level I reached, like in the fifth level, at that time, what it said is that it was the Aryan race,
Okay. All right. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not what is here, like what
Mhm.
we think of Aryan as here, but like the actual Aryan race,
Mhm.
which is like it felt like the highest intelligence in the
Mhm.
universe. And
Mhm.
basically like their whole form of communication was their faces had like these weird shapes, like a normal face, but like they had hair, like a big thing in between, like how my hair is like that
Mhm.
way, but spikes, and the skin was basically colorful, but
Right.
the color,
Iridescent.
yeah, the colors were the language, like that was, they were actually communicating at that level, like basically
Mhm.
each different part would have different color, and
Right.
that's so it was like multidimensional communication between
Mhm.
these beings.
Mhm.
And then I think beyond that, I went to this vision where I was just like exploding in a ball of light.
Mhm.
And like what ended up happening was like there was like a telepathic or psychic connection with two of the other participants who are psychics who were in the same group as me. And they were like, they both next morning they came and told me that they saw exactly this vision
Mhm.
of and like yeah, it was like super powerful, just like so much light.
Yeah. I mean, I get so excited when you share it because I mean, because like that's what I saw, and
Mhm.
it's almost like I could feel that my brain wanted to kind of like validate something or kind of like
Mhm.
over explain it in a way, but that's
Mhm.
like exactly what I saw. It's like that
Mhm.
lotus kind of a position and the light coming out of it.
Mhm.
And it's like, and it just wouldn't go away. And that's what I
Mhm.
learned too. It's like unless it goes away, like you need to say that. It's like
Mhm.
don't like try to add more with your mind. Just kind of like
Mhm.
say that no matter how it looks.
Mhm.
But yeah. Yeah, it
Well,
was.
it's also interesting that you spoke about the 0 point field, because um that's the whole name. It's like the infinite zero. My name is the infinite
Oh,
zero.
Infinite Zero. Oh,
That's
right.
why it's written that way. And that's why it's TO. It's like the infinite zero. And like
The infinite. Oh, right. Because I was gonna ask you today. It's like, what was it again? I forgot. Oh,
Mhm.
right. How?
but
What does it mean to you?
but that's exactly what you described. It's like it's the source, the
Yeah.
energy that is where reality is created.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's that paradox. It's the unification of the paradox. It's where everything emerges from the nothing.
Right. 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 Yeah, because that's what it felt. It's like a source of creation. It's like the
Mhm.
0 point.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like however I can explain it. Right.
And that was exactly like what I put on my new updated website. Was like my what am I about is about teaching people to become their own god. That's that's what it is.
Nice. Yeah.
Like I create my reality at that level. So like there are obviously like many levels of God. But
Right.
for me, that is like to become the highest level of God.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Because well, it's interesting because you're saying that because it's also kind of like my thing, the reality
Hmm.
creation, and everything that I was shown, it was almost like the source creation. But I can see now too with my this mental structure of like
Hmm.
not belonging or not taking full um space or even
Hmm.
knowing of self that I am God because like I've been saying this whole like yeah like
Hmm.
we are gods and like I am God and I just caught myself that I wanted to explain well it's like it means like no yeah and that you can create it and yeah and as I mentioned last time, with the frequency changes,
Hmm.
like now I feel even better because like you received that information as well, and everything that you were saying now too. Um, I know that it was coming from the place of like self-consciousness, like self-conscious about like,
Hmm.
oh, if I say those things, like who
Hmm.
do I think I am? Or, like
Hmm.
what do I think I'm? Like all of those things.
Well, this is the thing is who do I think I am? I think I am God. And
Yeah.
own that. I own that.
Yeah.
I don't need to apologize for thinking I am God. I think I am God. I know I am God.
I love that.
Just now, like I think it's already published, like 15 minutes back. I published a podcast episode
Oh yeah?
about this, like fully owning and celebrating your life. Like you don't need to
Right.
apologize for it. I'll share that also with you. It's all
Yeah.
so synchronous, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see that. And yeah, for my mental part for sure, it's almost like there was a permission given by
Mm-hmm.
this whole process of like no you're not like crazy or you're not
Mm-hmm.
thinking too much of yourself or whatever. It's like no, because that is my true nature,
Mm-hmm.
and me not actually showing that or not expressing that um is suffocating me. It's
Mm-hmm.
killing me basically. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's the thing is not that's when it comes to the next level, that is not just about knowing it in yourself, it's about speaking it freely,
yeah. Mm,
unapologetically. That's exactly what that whole episode is about. It's like I
yeah.
own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I love listening to you. It's sort of, and
Hmm.
it's going back to that point of, oh, if you interrupt me, it's like I'm not going to be offended.
Yeah.
And so with you, it's like, yeah, I am God. I'm like, yeah, you are God, and I'm God. Is there any other options? I mean, yeah, it's like, duh. It's just like it felt so true, that
Hmm.
it's like it doesn't even need to be explained. It's like, yeah.
Hmm.
And it just feels so refreshing.
Mhm.
And I also realized why it also feels refreshing, because it was me who was not allowing for this
Mhm.
experiences almost to happen,
Mhm.
or to allow myself to express in the same way, you know.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's like, oh, I like that. I like that. I want to live in a world with people, people like this, that people
Mhm.
can just say it out loud like that
Mhm.
and embody it and feel it.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, like we're all gods. So it's good.
Well, this is also like I told you about the thing that I'm launching, the frequency thing. It's
Mhm.
basically like I got more information about that this week. It's basically creating a network of people who are at that level.
Mhm.
Exactly. And it's like there's a very specific number. There'll be 369 people in that network.
How many? Say it again.
369.
369. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Like it's that's it.
Right. Nice. Nice. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you too, and for me too. Wow, it's just so I just feel excited. and and I love this feeling, you know, like I
Mhm.
love this feeling of excitement, almost,
Mhm.
you know, when you give yourself permission to be yourself fully, and life
Mhm.
starts to feel exciting again, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, right. Yeah, yes.
Well, I love it. I just love when people are in that state. It's a vibration, it's a frequency that is so rich.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like part of me wants to say so many things of like,
But do
what?
it. Do it. What is stopping you? Say it.
Hmm, I have some frequencies going through my ear right now.
I have that also, yeah, once in a while.
Right. I was gonna say that I've been receiving this information in a way, like in the past few months.
Mhm.
Every time I would start talking to someone, and I'm like, I know who I want to work with. Like, I know what
Mhm.
people, like, at what level I want to work with people, you know.
Mhm.
Again, because I'm going to be more useful at that level. Like,
Mhm.
it's yeah, and I could feel that. It's like, okay, well, there's something that I'm not fully stepping into my truth, you know, in
Mhm.
a way. It's like I know this, but I'm not allowing myself to do that, or
Mhm.
to even go there.
Mhm.
And it's always like, can I really?
Mhm.
It's like, is that okay if it's like to not to even want that, but to know that that's
Mhm.
where I need to be, you know, not like,
Mhm.
oh, I want it. Like, I wish it would be nice, you know, like if I was there, but
Mhm.
it's like, I know I need to be here.
Mhm.
That's where my power comes out, you know. And yeah, and this whole time it was me. It's like, can I please ask for permission for someone? Can please someone tell me? It's like, yes,
Mhm.
you can come in into this mention, you know, like, yes,
Mhm.
you can do something, right?
Mhm.
But that's why, like, I can see the difference in energy as well. It's like, can I like a
Mhm.
little bunny, you know? It's like, I'm
Yes.
scared, but like, can I? Right? And when you kind of like open the doors, like, I'm here, and
Mhm.
this is my space. I'm like, yeah, of course. Do you even need to ask us? Like, no, you know where you need to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like something that I felt about myself, I think my whole life in some
Mhm.
level, you know, and in the last months more than before. And what I'm feeling now, it's like, wow, like, what do I do with this? Oh, what am I going to create? You
Mhm.
know, it's almost like when it's being unleashed and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, where do I begin?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like the excitement of that. It's like,
Mhm.
it's more of this curiosity, and not like,
Mhm.
where do I begin because I'm scared, but it's like, oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
interesting, you know,
Mhm.
like, what can I create now?
Yeah. Yeah.
How
I
can I
I
experience
I
that?
love that because I feel like I'm in that state all the time in one way, but I also remember that feeling when the lid first came off, and it was like that absolute state of potential, and it's just potential, and nothing has happened yet, but it's just pure potential.
Yeah, I feel the shivers. Yeah. Yeah, I
But yeah,
mean,
like I'm in that state all the time where it's just like not only what I'm creating, but all the possibilities of what is still there to be created. The potential is just it's always there. And it's like one part of me always at the core of that 0 point field where things are just bursting out.
oh, things are being processed.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
do you have that usually? Like you have burping as a way of
Uh-huh.
releasing stuff? Yeah.
It's not always that it happens,
Uh-huh.
but when there's something like powerful, then yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to you need to burp it
Yeah.
out, you know? Yeah, and
Like,
uh-huh.
yeah, no, like that for me is also like a validation. Like, yeah, it's like a very physical recognition that work is happening. You
Yeah,
don't even need to do anything and it's happening. Like it's just releasing.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's just yeah, I feel more spacious right now.
Mm,
It's like I feel my energy feel more spacious, it's
mhm,
like opened, like more
mhm,
open. I definitely feel lightness, in my heart, and yeah, and my mind, I guess, is like it's like it wants to, it's like it doesn't know what to do. It's like it doesn't know how
mhm,
to react. It's like, am
mhm.
I supposed to panic, or am I supposed to be like happy, or it's like, oh, what just happened? It's like, what can I do? And it's like, mind, just chill, just like relax right now. Just be
Yeah,
here.
you don't need to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like, and another part of me is like, oh, what do I want to create? And just like, I have no idea, but I like the feeling, you know. And also, I wanted to. It's like, thank you for. Wait, I want to word it correctly.
There
Uh,
is no such thing. There is no
yeah,
such thing.
yeah,
Just say it.
yeah. It's like I'm grateful for the what's the word? Oh, sorry, I just forgot the word. For bleh. 1 second. So, yeah, it's like I'm speaking different languages. It's like I'm grateful for the opportunity to feel you
Mhm,
and to even connect to that, like to that vision and to that like
mhm,
0 point source
mhm,
creation, of what you are, and
mhm,
how it almost feels to, in a way, to be you, because like when I'm
mhm,
connecting to that, I can feel the frequencies
mhm,
and the energies, and yeah, and that's why I really love connecting to people, to even experience them through me. It's like,
mhm.
whoa, that feels nice. Like, I like that. I like that feeling. And yeah, and so it's like I wanted to thank you for that too, for
Mm.
giving me this opportunity to feel you, like to feel
Yeah, and it's my
essence.
pleasure to share that
Yeah. See,
and
that's what
to be
uh,
received at that level because very few people can handle that energy. Like this is also like the reason I used to hold myself back a lot, and I see a lot of people doing that. Like I'm working with people, especially on that topic of being too much, of being overwhelming, because you have so much energy, and most people in the world are so low energy that when they get exposed to this, they feel overwhelmed. They feel like you are hurting me. It actually feels like we are hurting them because it the reason is because that literally my presence, your presence is killing their ego. Just
right, right,
being us annihilates them.
yeah,
It is not killing your soul, but that's what it feels like to them. It feels like they are dying. And so they react. And that's why, like, what happens to a lot of people who are at that level, they get cancelled very early in their life. And
yeah.
their whole journey, their whole struggle is like uncanceling themselves.
Well, that is very true. Like that's been my thing since childhood. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and actually, not even you saying this now, kind of like again connects me to why I want to work with certain people,
Mm-hmm.
because others are actually hurting. They're like, what are
Mm-hmm.
you talking about? Like, why do you feel this? It's like, and when I'm like trying to, like, when I feel a lot of love and I want to express
Mm-hmm.
it, like transmit it to people, they're like so uncomfortable with this.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with me. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, right? You know, um, but now it's like, no, it is
Mm-hmm.
really like hurting people, and I can see that. And it's also that frequency, like the alien frequency that I've
Mm-hmm.
embodied. It is like being naked next to me. It's like when people are
Mm-hmm.
next to me, it's like if you're not comfortable being naked, you're
Mm-hmm.
very uncomfortable
Yeah.
next to me. Like very
And that's exactly the thing, is like basically what our frequency does is that it's it makes people completely transparent.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
anything that's in the energy field that is clouding the clarity, the anything that's heavy is just like being wiped out.
Yeah,
So that's why it feels so overwhelming or intimidating. It's like I'm dying. But
yeah,
like,
you can even hold on to this.
yeah, but like the switch, the transformation is that when it's a client, you can actually hold them and hold the space for them and tell them it's okay.
Yeah,
Die,
yeah,
die. Just stay for a bit longer and die and
yeah,
see what's on the other side.
right. Yeah, I like that because I mean that's what's happening usually, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've died a few times, and it's like I know what happens on the other side. And well, that's how I explain it usually because I couldn't speak and because I didn't feel safe. Now it's very easy for me to create that safe
Hmm.
environment for others to die in.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, I can see through you, like you're
Hmm.
transparent to me. It's like I can see everything, and like more
Hmm.
you're trying to hold on to it, harder, so like harder it is for me to help you. But like
Hmm.
if you actually just let go, it's like okay, I'm just naked. Like I'm just releasing it. It's like, okay, well, let's resurrect you. Like let's actually resurrect you to your truth. It's like good. I love that. Oh, nice. Oh,
Wow, like this, I'm high. Like I can
me
feel.
too. I didn't sleep the whole night, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I and I love this frequency because I laugh a lot at that
Yeah.
frequency. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot of laughter
Yeah.
and that happiness that is like, oh my God, I'm so high and I'm not even on anything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, isn't that amazing to feel those states without
Hmm.
anything? Like
Hmm.
we're just kind of creating those
Yeah.
states. So like we're being those states.
Well,
And
this is like the this whole offer that I'm creating with the frequency network thing is basically I have activated certain states that I'm able to hold constantly, and
Mhm,
is just like basically bringing people into that energetic network where the
mhm.
energy can flow to them automatically, and that is like they make the commitment that I'm part of this, and it just starts flowing. I don't even need to do anything. No one needs to do anything. It's just like at the energetic level is happening, and
Yeah.
and to realize like even something like that is possible, because up until this idea came to me, it was always like, oh, I have to do something
Mhm.
in the 3D to make that
Marketing
happen.
and all that, yeah. Mhm.
And like the switch was just like, you don't have to do anything, just create this and we'll do the rest.
Right, right. Yeah, and do you like are you like consciously aware of those frequencies, like what those frequencies are? Or
I have given like the ones that have channeled up until now, I have given like names to them. So, but it's just like 2 words or 3 words or 1 word. Like it doesn't even need more. It's just like, okay, now this frequency is activated. Now this is activated. So the idea with this whole app or website or whatever it becomes is that it's just like during the week, 1 word will display on the app, and that's all there will be.
Mhm,
And it's
mhm.
like, okay, right now this is the frequency that's being activated.
Right. It's almost like, well, it's almost like a placebo effect, in a way, it's like,
It's
I mean,
the
in a way,
the
it's
app
like,
the app it the thing is it's not a placebo because it's very clear that you're not even taking anything. Like you don't have to do it. Like
right.
that's it's placebo is when you don't know. So
Yeah,
it's like you're taking a placebo. That
right.
is
I guess what I meant is like, because it's still an app that you take, that you interact with, right? That is like, okay, this is the frequency. And you're like, yeah, I can feel it. I
no,
mean,
but like
mhm,
the thing the only purpose, and like I'm not even doing the app right now. Right now I'm literally just doing one page website. Is that it's literally it's I'm calling it the portal because that's what it is.
right, right.
That page is a portal.
Yeah.
And once you step through it, that's all you
Yeah.
need to do.
I mean, I don't even have doubts about this. Like, it's more of a like I called it that way, but it's not like I don't think about it as like, oh, there's nothing. No, it's like it is a
Mhm.
portal. It is like you're
Yeah,
actually receiving frequencies.
yeah.
Um,
And like that's why like it's interesting to talk about the placebo effect because it's in my way of explaining it, it's not a placebo effect because one, you don't need to take anything, but you are consciously activating something
mhm,
by becoming part of this. Like you are like placebo is telling yourself, I need to take something to believe something.
mhm,
Here, the idea is I am not doing any of that. Like,
mhm.
okay, this is I am consciously committing to activating this.
Right, right, right.
So it's an interesting distinction to create because like, I'm just like because this idea is so new, like talking to different people brings up different things. So it's interesting for me also to see how people will perceive it.
Right,
And for
right.
sure, many people will think, this is just a placebo. But
Yeah,
it's
because
it's not because there are real things happening. Like
mhm,
there is energy flowing. It's not just like how I will distinguish this is that if you say it's a placebo effect, that means that if even if I don't do anything, even if I don't participate in this, I can do it on my own. And
mhm,
that is the thing, is like, okay, you may be able to do it on your own, but it may take years, it may take lifetime. You are
mhm,
actually getting access to a network where
mhm,
this energy is present.
mhm, mhm,
It's just not something that's in the 3D, it's not something that's at the mental level, but you are
mhm.
definitely activating something that's
Right.
very real.
Yeah. I guess, like when I was also saying placebo, for me, it's not something and anything negative. It's
Yeah,
more,
yeah. No, it's like definitely not about negative. It's just like to understand what placebo means and how people perceive it. It's
mhm,
like, yeah, just to explain that.
yeah. Uh, yeah. And I mean, it's just, even because I guess when I was saying that, there was another thing that I was feeling. Um, it's like when it's like if there's just a word, it's one thing. But when it's a word filled with frequency, for example,
Mhm,
right? And like really intentional, and it
mhm,
actually has this frequency, like, so this would be
mhm.
empty thing, kind of
Yeah.
like, this is just the word. It's like, okay, this is the
Mhm,
emptiness. But this is actually filled with frequency, but also
mhm,
frequency that it's like when you are confident, right? Like when you're just
mhm,
saying something, it's like, because I kind of know, like, yeah, like you can feel that it's emptiness.
mhm,
But when you're like embodying it, it's like, this is the frequency. I know this, and I'm not just
mhm,
saying because I'm feeling it. I'm like, I know the frequency, and so I'm not
mhm.
saying just to say. It's like it's
Yeah.
a very different experience of that too,
Mhm.
right? And like what you're creating, it is this. It's not that like
Yeah,
empty whatever.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And
But it's exactly like what you said just now, just reminded me of that moment when I said potential and you felt the shivers. Why are you having that physical effect? Is that literally that word is I can just say potential and it's
yeah, it's like
empty.
it's charged. It's
But
charged.
in that moment when I said it, I literally charged it with all the feeling of
Mhm,
potential.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
that's it's again because I know it so well, and I can
mhm,
feel it, of course. And
yeah.
when times with my clients, like they say something and I bring
Mhm,
it through me with the certain frequency, and then
mhm,
Oh my God, like we just felt it, and like also like shivers, and like
Yeah,
understood without you
yeah,
explaining it, you know, just
yeah.
saying it through me with a certain frequency, you know.
Mhm.
I was like, wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm feeling that like all the time in my sessions. It's like even with you today, like I don't know how many times it happened that having, but also for me, it's almost like it's localized. Like I will you will say something and I will feel a shiver in this part of my neck, not the whole neck also, just like
Mhm, mhm,
here it's going down, or it's like maybe
mhm.
the full body of my arm. It's like it's so interesting that
Right,
it's vibrating at such a particular frequency that my body only feels it there.
right, nice. Oof. I get it. Yeah. Ah, that's I mean, I just love our conversation. It's just so yeah, I just feel at home, you know. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
I can talk and someone feel that too. And yeah, like I love that. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, nice.
Well, this has been fascinating. What I would like to ask you is, are you open to actually publishing or parts of this, if not the whole thing?
Oh yeah, 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 of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I feel like this is such a potent conversation
For
that
sure, yeah.
if just
Yeah,
people come across and listen to it, it's going to activate so many things.
definitely. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no problem at all.
like I'm also thinking to share it with Chris and Jason, spiritual leader, to just be like, there is so much here.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Feel free. Yeah, I'm never opposed to that. Like, I mean, I would definitely be
Yeah.
building a better
I
hairstyle.
don't care.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing, like I think the right people don't care. Like so there is this whole thing when you spoke about like this is very interesting, coming back to that, like talking about grace.
Mhm.
So I work with a very particular set of being for the last like 4 years now, and I call them faceless beings.
Mm.
Like this is the word that came to me. Like these are faceless beings, and I am a faceless being. Like I have, and it's like a multi-dimensional collective that basically what is their whole energy is that there is no identity, there is no personality. It's like these beings are beyond appearances. So
Mhm, mhm,
we just come in to do what we need to do. It's not about credit or fame or all of this. It's just like,
mhm.
okay, this is what needs to happen right now. I come and do my role. And
Mhm,
that doesn't mean you have to deny your personality or your face or whatever. It's just like there's no attachment to it. And who you are really is like your identification is with the one who's behind the mask.
mhm.
So like when you said grays, I have not really studied anything about them, but like if I remember well, like they don't have face, or that's not true.
I mean, they kind of do, but also now
Uh-huh.
you're saying this, it's like even in the gray, you know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like something that you cannot fully identify, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because I'm not like I usually also don't really know all of the beings and all of the names.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I'm connecting to, well, first time when I was abducted, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "Are you white, tall whites?" They're like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of gave us this name, but our
Mm-hmm.
actual name or whatever, it's not that."
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like you can call us this, but it's not that. And so
Mm-hmm.
with grays, I guess why I was seeing it was just this gray, yeah, and actually it was faceless.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this
Mm-hmm.
grayness, you know, like if it was a ghost or something,
Mm-hmm.
like a gray thing. Like, oh, okay. So,
I heard you saying this 3 times now, so I'm going to share
uh-huh.
something with you.
Right, right, right,
This
right.
is I have this t-shirt.
Oh, you do? Wow,
Yeah.
nice. I love it. That's perfect, actually. I need this t-shirt as well.
But this is the thing again, like again going back to what you said just now, is like we put all these frames of, oh, it's an abduction. oh, is this species or anything. So that's exactly what the whole faceless beings is about. It's like, forget these mental concepts. Like, look at the energy that's behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess those words more to kind of like just explain to you
Yeah,
and it was,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, like to me also it was the best thing, you know. It's like
Mhm.
I kind of wanted it, and then it just happened a few times.
But that's why it's a risk.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean,
But
after that, yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that like after that I get connected more to me
Mhm.
and kind of like found out certain things. But again,
Mm,
even if it's mental, because even when I'm speaking about kind of like my ET connection,
mhm,
it's never like yeah, I am connected to Pleiadians, but at the same
mhm,
time, it's like there's no word for that.
mhm,
It's just the energy and the frequency that I know that I am.
mhm,
And even when I'm trying to say like Pleiadians, it's like
mhm,
it's not the wholeness of it, not the fullness. It's like yeah,
mm.
it's like one aspect of that.
Yeah.
And when someone asking me, I was like, "What planet are you from?" Like, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm,
It's like it's too
mhm. Yeah. It's too small. It's too much in
limited.
a box. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like it's too much in a box, and because
Yeah.
a lot of people kind of like are used to thinking in those
Mhm,
terms, and I'm like, I get why, because our
mhm.
mentality kind of wants that, but it's something that you cannot fully explain, I guess. It's like there's no name.
So I will share with you the way I work with
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
beings like transdimensional beings is uh basically I only work with faceless beings.
Okay.
And what does that mean? It basically allows any being to come through who doesn't want
Mhm.
the credit or the name.
Because they hold the frequency of all of them within.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. So it
Mhm.
could be a Pleiadian, it could be an Arcturian, it could be a Grey, it could be anyone, it could be
Right,
Jesus.
right.
But basically, they are connecting to me at a level where they don't care for their name to be spoken.
Yeah,
All they care about is the message. What is really important is the message, not who is saying it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why, like when I'm channeling, I don't say I'm channeling the faceless being. I don't say I'm channeling a particular person. I am taking ownership of the message because it doesn't matter who said it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I don't need to say I said this. I'm just saying it.
Right.
If the other person thinks Theo said it or some random person said it, it's finally just a name. Like what are you really attaching to?
Yeah, exactly.
So like that's why basically like I shifted my work completely to not even talk about oh I'm channeling or like depending on who I'm working with. Like if it's with you, I can tell you, okay, I'm channeling. But
Mhm.
with other people, I don't even need to tell them I'm channeling. I'm just like, okay, this is me. I'm working.
Okay. Mhm.
Because what I realized is for a lot of people, they are not actually even interested in the source. They're not even interested. Like for them, they are only interested in the message.
Mhm.
And whether I'm saying it or I'm channeling it or some other being is saying it doesn't really matter. So that also became something like I defined my clients saying that I want clients who don't need that validation of a particular source. And that is like, there are a lot of people who are in that. And I like working with them because it's much lighter. It's not like,
Right.
oh, like, look, let's put this person on an idol. Because
Mhm.
again, idolization, like that whole thing is what keeps us from being God ourselves.
Mhm.
Like when you are God, no one else is on a pedestal, no one else is idolized. It's not like,
Right.
oh, these beings, these magical beings. No, I am also a magical being. I
Yeah.
play with gods in the garden of God.
Mhm. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I guess that's why, when at first it was different beings or like ascended masters, the spirits that
Mhm,
were training me. And then when it was just source, and
mhm.
some of my friends are like, "Oh, so who is this? Who is this? What?" And I was always like, and there was like laughter. It's like
Mhm,
just the mind that wants to attach a
mhm,
certain picture or the name,
mhm.
but it's like, here, I'm source.
Yeah.
Why do you need someone else if I like here, like you can receive all of the answers from
Mhm.
this point? And they're like, no,
And
the
yeah,
character.
like, yeah, but for me, that's the whole point is also educating people. and to go to the next level where you say, I am the source,
Right. Right.
to become one with the source. It's not like the source is separate. Like
Yeah.
it's what Jess also, talks about in a very different way. But it's like you
Mhm.
go beyond the realm of separation. It's not
Mhm.
like the source is separate from who we are.
Mhm. Right. That is true. That is that is true. Yes. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that's the whole point. Like, what is the need? What is the purpose of saying all of that? If really is coming from that level, they don't care. At the same time, like I also get it, like because there are people who are still attached to all of those things. There are the teachers who need to operate at that level. But then for the people who are ready to upgrade and evolve, there are other teachers.
Right. True. Here they are.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. It's
Awesome.
yeah. It's like I mean I feel like I could talk to you for hours, you know?
Yeah. And I think we will continue talking at
Yeah,
another time.
exactly. It's like, wow. It's
So
yeah.
yeah, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, Theo. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Thank you for
you.
your
Because
guidance.
this was a co-creation. So thank you too.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. See you next time.